Good morning at Viewpoint, and we have with us the delightful Mrs. Busby, who owns 51% of this show. We have a couple of great guests with us. Start out this morning.
And I want you to know, fellas, that all this pay I have to do to keep these people in line here is just breaking me up.
Yeah, with her ownership
costs me everything I make.
Well, this is Andy Devine. Frog jumped in there last night, didn't jump out, so we'll have to do the best we can. Well, I start Viewpoint, gentlemen, with a kudo or two. I always like to ferret around, find out something. Just in our neighborhood, down at 304 Water Street, folks that own that house on the corner, they have that nice wraparound porch, and they always have 4 flags, 2 on each side on Water Street and on Peoria. Looks real nice. And I tell you the truth, I do not know the owners and don't know those neighbors. But thanks to them, looks really neat. And then I found a true definition of altruism. The other day, we might have seen it on the national news. There was an educator in California, you may have seen this, and he was an administrator of the school system, and he was being paid a very handsome sum, over in excess of $200,000 a year. And he decided that he'd invested well, and the school district was in trouble, and he resigned. And then the next day, he signed a new contract for $30,000.
Holy cow.
Now, if there's a definition of true altruism, I couldn't begin to. That's a long way to go for a kudo, but that really impressed me.
You know, maybe he could send his notes to the Chicago City Council.
The Chicago way, you mean? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But I thought, of course, not everybody's in a position to do that, but he felt that he was, because he'd invested wisely, and he said, I have enough money, and so that's what he wanted to do. That's really something. I really impressed with that. Why don't you introduce our nice guest this morning? We got a couple of gentlemen here who really work on behalf of our community, and we'd like to showcase what we're talking about here this morning.
I'd also like to thank all the people involved in entertaining me all weekend at the art fair and the balloon fest, and it was a wonderful weekend, a busy weekend, and the weather was good. Now, we're going to be talking with Dom Dalpoas from the Oasis and one of his board members, a man named Wally Reifsteck.
Try the German.
Wally Reifsteck. I think everybody.
We're all kidding around. Everybody knows Wally Reifsteck.
Yes, they do.
And thank goodness we all do.
And they are here to ask our help in inflating their tires. I love that. Now, what's with the tires, fellas? And the rest of the vehicle as well, please.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, we called. First of all, thank you for having us on the program.
We're glad to have. Pull that mic in, and we'll put Dom, please.
Thank you guys again for having us on the program. We appreciate it. We're right now in the midst of a campaign to purchase a 15-passenger van for the Oasis Senior Center, and we have currently we have a 2001 van, and that van has just got a lot of miles on it. It had lots of work that needed to be done to it.
I know something about that.
Yeah, it's just like everybody else that gets a little older. You need a little bit more work. You need a little bit more help to get down the road, and our van is no exception. It's the same, and actually our van just stopped working in July.
Dead in the water.
Just kind of, dead in the water.
Well, first we want to say a word about the Oasis, gentlemen. You really serve a great need down there. You've got a wonderful board. I've been looking at your bulletin that you send out. I was looking at the board this year. You've got some really great people on that board. You've got a great president, and you've got a real problem with this transportation. And we probably should define why transportation is so important to your to the Oasis and the citizens who use those facilities.
Well, speaking, it helps us get programs out to the community of Logan County. That's one aspect of it. And the other aspect of it is that seniors really truly enjoy traveling in groups for a common interest of whatever. Lots of folks that get into their elder years end up either handicapping because they can't drive at night because of vision problems, or they can't drive, period. And this allows them to stay at home while still enjoying theaters, educational programs, out to eat, a variety of different events that that they are used to going to, that for some reason or another they couldn't drive themselves to any longer. So that's really the main thrust of our program, is to get programs to the county, as well as to just to continue to supply seniors with transportation needs to the various events. In fact, we're going to Branson here not too long here from now.
The fellowshipping is such a big issue for seniors. Some find themselves rather alone, and they need that companionship your whole life. You're interacting with people, and then all of a sudden, not so much, you know? And that's such a tragedy, and the Oasis provides such a beautiful outlet.
Yeah, it does. The camaraderie of folks coming together it's unhealthy to eat alone all the time. It's unhealthy to be alone all the time. And when you have life's events put you in those positions, you really need some place to have activities, services, and events and to go to. And we're one of the very few. We're one of 4 senior centers in the state of Illinois that's autonomous, and that's not necessarily part of a park district and part of any other government agency. And so therefore we do struggle financially, but we feel like it's very important to serve the community of Logan County and their seniors in that way. And
yeah, you mentioned an important point there, Dominic. You used the word struggle, and that's the truth of the matter. Money to operate the Oasis is not easy to come by, and you depend upon folks being generous. And I think when they read about some particular project that you have, we'd be well advised to take advantage of that and help the Oasis a little bit. I guess it's safe to say that the desire to have a van is not really a wish. It's almost a necessity for the Oasis to operate in a full form. Would that be correct?
That's how we view it. We view it as an essential part of our programming effort. The seniors that participate in that particular program view it to be an essential part as well. And folks that are in their 40s now and perhaps early 50s that don't think about being a senior, if you look 10 years down the road, which in 2001 we purchased a van, if you look 10 years down the road from where you're at now, you may find it to be an essential part of your life and your program as well. So it's kind of an investment in your own future, really.
Now, when you get this 15-passenger van, does it have to be modified?
Yes, the board of directors really sent out a mandate in March and May of this year. We were going to look for a new van. And it does, the board indicated that it had to be handicap accessible because we have several folks that need those kinds of facilities. The reason it's 15 passengers so that you don't have to have a CDL license. You can have a regular driver's license with a restriction on it. It's like a small school bus, but it's a lot nicer than that. We wanted it to be have driver and passenger safety and comfort features, so that we could, the seniors would feel comfortable riding in it, and they would feel safe.
Your partner this morning is rather quiet.
The strong, silent type.
Unusual for a minister. By the way, I just make a personal observation here, Dominic, if I may. You know, a lot of ministers, when they retire from their particular pastorate, whatever denomination, they move on and go somewhere else. We're glad that Wally and Tony decided to stay with us here in this committee when they quit.
Now, Wally is the chairperson of the Ways and Means Committee. He knows all about the finances for the center, and we are extremely proud and pleased that he and Tony are both active at the Oasis, and we really appreciate that.
Well, he's experiencing that because he exhorted the down at St. John's to make a silent collection when they passed the plate.
I'm not sure I understand that, but I'll let Wally respond to that.
No change, only soft money, only paper.
Wally, since you're the Ways and Means man, what kind of money, dare I ask, does it take to buy a modified 15-passenger van that's comfortable? I just can't imagine the figure.
It's $52,844. We have a committee, as Dom said, that we had begun talking about this in spring, thinking by fall we would be looking toward that. But then Dom went on vacation, and the bottom dropped out while he was gone.
Where?
Van quit. The air conditioning quit.
Well, that's the end of vacations for you, Dom.
Our secretary said when he goes next year, she's closing the place down. But anyway, it was determined we had to have a new vehicle. So the committee that was formed began looking more seriously. We visited Midwest up in Kankakee, where the van will come from, and is a supplier of many of the vans that are around our community now, the small vans, especially at churches and colleges here. We, as Dom said, we wanted to modify ours with particular safety features that may not be on others. We wanted comfort for our people as well, and so this is the direction that we headed in to begin our initial conversation. The amount then grew from there, which of course we expected to have happen. And fortunately, right at that time, we were making an application to the Wood Foundation, and Dom had a meeting set up, and fortunately the Wood Foundation has come through. So we're trying to raise half of that money, and they will do a matching fund.
That's remarkable.
Here. Yes,
You know,
yes.
that really is. The folks do a great job at administering the funds that Bob and Joanne left for the community. And it's really neat to be able to have that seed money there, and it's a one-for-one match. In other words, if you give $10, you're actually going to give $20.
Correct.
So there's a real motivation for folks to get down and dig down a little bit deeper. And in essence, they can say they're, instead of giving $50 or giving $100.
We always find a challenge when it comes to money there with our administrator. He doesn't have the brightest outlook on how much we're going to raise. He thought that we would be lucky if we got 5 maybe put together here on the thing. And of course,
man of little faith.
his Ways and Means Committee, which includes Ellen Burbidge, who, you know, Ellen is always the promoter of money.
Yes, she is.
And Gene Hall, we said, no, we want a big campaign. If we're going to do this, let's go big.
Is it coming well, Wally?
It's going very well, very well.
Well, that doesn't mean we need to stop.
No, that's why we're here.
Yeah, we're
That's
not
why
there
we
yet.
are here.
We're not there, yes.
No.
We're here to plead for money.
We are now, what, at
$15,025.
Well, you have a little ways to go. You got to have 27,000 yourselves, don't you?
Right, we're about 11,400 short.
It's not too late for people to get on the bandwagon here and do something that matters. Now, if out there in Radio Land there are those who are willing to participate, tell me whether you take credit or debit cards. That's what the grocery store always says.
We're too old to take either. I don't like either one.
That's right.
We like, as Bill pointed out earlier, we like the soft money type of thing. But any donation, absolutely any donation would be accepted. Just if they were looking at doing checks, we really don't have a way of process credit or debit cards. But
No.
if they have a way of sending monies, they can do so by check, make it out to the Oasis Senior Center at 501 Pulaski Street in Lincoln, Illinois. And we've been keeping a list, checking it twice, and we've been sending thank you notes to each and every person that is so generous. And believe
Bless
me,
you.
this, as Wally indicated, I really did not have any kind of idea of the generosity. I've always said Logan County is one of the most generous counties in the state of Illinois, and I'm sure of that. I just didn't realize that the community would come together as it has and sponsor or give to the Oasis the $15,000 plus that it has thus far. And as I just didn't realize how much the community supports that particular center.
Somehow, the folks in the county always seem to step up to the plate when these things go on. This is just one isolated.
One of many, many, many.
Somehow we seem to step up. I don't know. It's just remarkable.
I think
in a small community.
It speaks to the fact, too, that the Oasis does a beautiful job for a lot of people.
Yes. How many do you serve, Dominic, on a given day or week? How many?
Annually, there's about 7,000 touches. I mean, 7,000 seniors that go through the doors of the Oasis in a year's time. We have, there's some days when you could throw a cat that I haven't seen yet all the way down there and not hit a soul.
Yeah.
Or there's other days where you can't really move too well in there. So it comes and goes. It depends on lots of weather conditions and lots of other conditions, and of course the activities or services that we're providing. But yeah, we have about 7,000 folks, and that's about the number of seniors, believe it or not, that live and reside in Logan County. Is about close to that 7,000 number. So we're trying to serve all the folks' needs, and we have a variety of programs to do so. I tell you, the one thing I really want to mention and give kudos for, and that's what Wally really was instrumental in setting up, and that is that we have a van campaign fundraiser on October the 29th. Peggy's Place and Fat Boys Barbecue are putting on a meal, and all the proceeds are going to the van campaign. And the way this is being structured, and like I said, Wally was very instrumental in this, and maybe you want to speak to that, Wally. The meal is going to be a half of a barbecue chicken. I just saw Chris Brown, was thanking him for the up and smoke around the square for the festival.
Yes.
It was wonderful.
Sure was.
And he said if he had his, if his weekend was open, he was going to participate in it as well. So we've got Peggy, and we got Peggy's husband, and we got possibly got Chris Brown. They're making a half a chicken, mashed potatoes, a vegetable, homemade slice of bread, and a piece of pumpkin pie for $8. So you do get something for your money here. And
Yes.
like I said, all the proceeds are going to the center. You can drive down the alley of the Oasis behind it between us and Edward Jones, and we'll hand it out the alley door to you, so that just like it used to be in the speakeasy, we'll just hand it out the back door.
Knock on the door.
You just knock on the door and say Joe sent you, and we'll send out this meal. Or you can sit down in the dining room there and
With a free drink.
with a free drink, yeah, and have a delicious meal. And like I said, all the proceeds. The only problem with this is we got to sell these tickets before the event. We can't do it at the door.
Sure.
So to
You have
speak.
to know how many.
That's right.
Obviously.
They need to know how many chickens to get out of the
Sacrifice.
hen house and all that. Yeah, they need to know all that sort of
Are the
thing.
tickets out and printed now at this point in time? Go ahead. Wally.
Yes, they are. We made the announcement last Saturday when Fat Boys were downtown on the square. They had a poster up, and they also have tickets, and they will also, Peggy's Place will have tickets as well as the Oasis. Chances are we will be having our faithful board members again. That's one of the, seems like one of the needs that we always have, to be selling these tickets for something like we've got Grandparent Day coming up
Yep.
in a week from Sunday on
On the
9/11.
11th, as a matter of
Yeah.
fact.
So we're continually giving out tickets to our board members to sell at least 5 or return them if they can't sell them. And they will have tickets as well, and hopefully we can do a great job at this. As he said, Chris is going to be involved, and Tom has told me that there are other barbecuers in town who are going to get involved with it too. So we're really blessed, and it's amazing. I guess maybe it pays off to go to Peggy's Place and have coffee.
I
well,
think so.
In fact, yes, exactly. Right.
I was moaning and groaning about when this band broke down and Don was gone, and Tom was sitting there, and he went back, and pretty soon he came back. He'd been back talking to Peggy and said, "Wally, we would like to do this."
How neat. Stepped right up.
Stepped right up.
Uh-huh.
And
That's
so
what we
Oh,
say.
bless her
Yeah.
heart.
they just, I mean, we didn't ask them. they said, this is something we want to do for you and the community, and we're grateful for that.
You bet. You bet.
Very grateful for that. Yeah,
One of the things, when you ask Dom about the programs down there, people don't realize the number of things that they do. I would say that Georgina, our secretary down there, knows probably more about Social Security than maybe the Social Security people do, and answers more Social Security things. The VA is down there, some. They do taxes
right.
here. Different agency programs they do that people don't even begin to realize that go on down there. And so we're grateful for that. We really are, that we're able to serve the community. And funds have been cut from the county board with us, which means we have to raise the extra money here.
Well, it's safe to say what you're offering down there are not fringe benefits for seniors. It's filling a real need for lots of people. So it's a great social, economic need for a lot of people. So we're very pleased to have Wally Reifsteck. Go ahead, sir.
We're blessed with Dom.
He's pretty good.
He's kind of bashful here at this point, but I don't know what we would do with anyone else.
We appreciate that too, Dominic.
He really fills the bill for us. Like I say, when it all went to pot very quickly while I was gone, we didn't hardly know where to go.
Oh dear.
So.
Well, thank you so much. Give your address again so that people can send $5, $500, whatever.
Yeah, any donation is accepted.
Right, gratefully.
Yes, gratefully. Our address is the Oasis Senior Center at 501 Pulaski Street, Lincoln, Illinois, and we would appreciate any and all support that the community can possibly give us towards this project, really and truly.
Well, we're pleased to have you gentlemen visit with us this morning, and we're going to take a short commercial break. Thanks to Dominic Dalpoas and Reverend Wally Reifsteck for being with us on. But yes, go ahead, Wallace.
We'd just like to lift up our Grandparent Day, which is the 11th of September. That it will be at the Legion. It's a breakfast, like the Legion usually has the second Sunday of the month.
Right.
We will be sponsoring that, and again, we will be the recipients of the funds coming from there, and at the same time, to feature something for the grandparents, we have Marilyn Armbrust making some of her famous cookies.
Great. So like all good ministers, you get in the last word. Good for you. By the way, Wally. Thank you very much, gentlemen. We'll now take a short commercial break.